Hi everyone, this is Dan, the Future Holds Crypto. So yeah, it was a very tough period. Um, we've seen everything going down, and not only Bitcoin or crypto in general. We've seen stocks going down. I think it's mostly related, and it is correlated to what the stock market and the traditional markets are doing, because what the Feds are kind of blocked or forced to do something about inflation, because it's also record inflation since 40 years ago, and also it's an election year, and the Democrats are being blamed for the for the inflation. In any case, the market is watching every move that the Feds are doing, and this week was interesting because, and the market is actually funny because they're expecting at any moment some changes, or actually to increase the interest for the Fed to increase the interest rates from one day to the other or 1 month to the other, and everybody was that's why the market went down before, and everybody was hoping that the Fed will be more, let's say, lenient or dovish, as they say. They started to fine, but basically for an hour they didn't say anything. So the problem I think with this is that the market doesn't know when and what's the schedule, and what's going to happen in each step in the schedule. And I think the markets hate uncertainty, and especially traditional markets. And that's why we've seen a dive in the price in the stock markets exactly when the Feds were actually talking. So you can see the markets were reacting live to what Jerome Powell was saying. So in terms of the markets, it's a very interesting place right now, because in March, basically the QE will be reducing, and also or stopping, and the interest rates will be growing. And I think that the QE is the biggest problem we have, because even the interest, if the interest rates grow, it will be small at the beginning, because this is at least what I think. But the QE was keeping the market alive. I'm not sure if you know this, but basically they were injecting 120 billion per month into the market. Right? That's a lot, and basically they want to stop. And not only that, but they were talking about reducing their balance sheets. And that means to sell on the market, and that's even worse. They didn't give a date, and I suspect they will actually postpone this, because I don't think they're in a place to do this. But even talking about it makes the market uncomfortable. So even in the past, when they tried to reduce the balance sheet in 2018, if I remember correctly, or actually postpone the QE, the market crashed. I think if we look here on the SPX, give me a second, it was around this part 2018, and you can see the market crashed 20%. And now it's already crashing 12, almost 13% since the previous all-time high, the recent all-time high, which is the biggest. And if they only talking about it had the market panicking, right? So I'm wondering what will happen if they actually go with the plan, right? So for the traditional market, I don't think for the moment the market looks pretty bullish. Probably they might be forced to change their strategy, because okay, I understand it's an election year, it's a big inflation, but if, for example, the stock market crashes too hard, and articles on USA Today or other big publications will say something that this monetary policy is crashing the markets and crashing the economy, they will probably have to change it. So I don't know exactly when it will be changed or what will happen here, and I don't think anybody knows, so don't be fooled on this one. And as you can see, basically Bitcoin and the crypto in general is kind of correlated. I mean, not kind of, it is correlated. And if people tell you otherwise, look at the charts, right? It is correlated. We have a 47% drop in Bitcoin to the current price, but we were around 51% a few days ago. We had ADA that crashed 71%. We have other coins that crashed even harder. It crashed basically 90%. If we look here, it's 91%. But to be fair, this one also grew 550x, and it retained basically, even with a 90% crash, it retained a 40x gain. So that's not so bad, especially depending on where you bought. But in any case, all the market is shaken, and it is clear that it's correlated to this. And I don't see how the traditional market and what's going on there, and I don't see, let's say, positive things that can help it at this stage, unless they change their strategy based on the fact that they're crashing the markets. This might actually be a strategy for increasing the dollar value, because when the market crashes, basically the dollar value increases, and you can see here that the DXY basically is in an uptrend. I was playing around with some waves here, and apparently it kind of followed, because this is from a long time ago. I think I drew this in December or November, but in any case, it seems that it went near the waves, and we have a correction here, and then it seems to be going on a fifth wave. And I think, if we're going to speculate, whatever, just playing around here, don't take my word on it, but if we have a correction here, probably this is the time period where basically crypto can have its run. And that means, I don't know exactly when the top will be, but probably in after March, or in general. But yeah, this is clearly in an uptrend, the value of the dollar. And by the way, look at this. Nasdaq had a 22% crash. That's kind of huge for the traditional markets, right? So I think the people are not in general very optimistic, and of course it's not an easy period to go through. But being through the 2020 March crash, it kind of feels like it, because now back then people were very pessimistic. We couldn't see a way out of that situation. Everybody was talking about a depression level crash in the markets, maybe even war. Pandemic was rising, everybody was fearful, and that was actually one of the best moments that you could have bought. Not saying this is like that, but definitely the sentiment is close to that, or going towards that direction, because it might get a little bit worse before it gets better. But in my view, even if the bear market has started, because nobody knows exactly if it did or not, but it doesn't look very well, let's say, my strategy will be, I'm going to increase the DCA. So basically, what I told you in the past, try not to time the market. It's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. And basically, the best or the safest strategy I've seen is to have dollar cost averaging in the projects that you love and that you think have a long-term perspective. So this is in moments like this, it is best to accumulate when everybody is fearful, not with all your money at once. Maybe you can increase your DCA amount, and this is what I'm doing, but definitely not all your money at once. And note, BC Becker had a very good observation. You should note somewhere down how you feel in these situations, and also how you feel, for example, at the top, and then look back on the notes when something similar occurs, and remember what happened next, right? Because when everybody is very optimistic and buys actually and euphoric that it will go up forever, probably that's a very good time to sell. And the other way around, when everybody's fearful and they think if it's going to zero and everything is going to crash, it probably is a very good time to actually buy. In any case, that's basically the intro on the crashes in the market. But wanted to show you something else that gives me hope, and there are two parts of this equation, let's say. First of all, there's a chart that I've been watching for a while, and you can see my tweets if you let me show you my latest one, but it's something that I wrote on December 20th when I was looking at the Bitcoins held on the Bitcoin supply held on all exchanges, right? And what I see here, it's a very, very interesting chart, because basically since all time, it's the first time when Bitcoin has a crash like this, big as this one, and instead of having the supply on the exchanges increase, it's actually going down. As you can see here, when this crash, it's going down and down. And and this is basically from today. This is something that I wanted to show you actually what's happening now. So this is an old, basically the supply held on exchange, it's an all-time low from when this cycle started. It's an all-time low, and it's the first time when the Bitcoin price crashes and the supply held on exchanges crashes. To me, this is something. I mean, I don't have enough experience to understand exactly what it means, but and don't take my word on it. But to me, it seems that people in general are haven't given up on Bitcoin and have a long-term perspective on it. They keep accumulating the Bitcoin, right? Somebody is still buying Bitcoin a lot, and taking it off the exchanges, right? And that's something interesting because since here, we've seen this change into Bitcoin. I think we're watching something interesting here. Of course, this can change at any minute, and I'm going to still watch on this because at one point it can grow from, it will change the perspective, of course, but it might be possible we're seeing Bitcoin changing, metamorphosizing in something else, right? And if this is, and by the way, also this is the 30-day change of supply held on exchange wallets, and you can see here it's also dropping a lot. This is at least not a bad indicator. It's correlating to this one, and if we're seeing this Bitcoin changing to something else, yes, for the moment it's actually correlated to the market, but it has a few advantages compared to it. I mean, we were talking about the fact that I don't necessarily see when the market can recuperate, or if the Feds don't change the strategy. But with Bitcoin, I think it's a little bit different, because if it's changing to something else, it might be the case where it actually decouples from the traditional markets, right? And not saying it will be very soon or now or something like that, but in any case, I think it might have already started this process. And also a different thing that it has compared to the stock market, it's quite at the beginning compared to the stock market, right? And I'm gonna show you a few news that happened in the last 24 hours, right? Only the last 24 hours. So a few days ago, there was Russia's central bank were proposing to ban crypto and the mining, and now Putin backs crypto mining despite Bank of Russia's hardline. President Vladimir Putin backs a Russian government proposal to tax and regulate mining of cryptocurrencies, rejecting the central bank's proposal to ban it completely, according to the three people familiar with the matter. That's interesting, and I was actually thinking, okay, US is trying to impose some swift restrictions for US, and I was like, okay, why ban Bitcoin? Because this will actually help them. This is an interesting problem. I think it will be interesting to see how US reacts to this. But a few hours later, I'm not even joking, few hours later, we see this. Biden admin is reportedly preparing to release an executive action to regulate Bitcoin as a matter of national security. So I'm not sure exactly how this will be going. It might actually not be as bad. Might be a shock at the beginning, but I think on the long term it will be good, because regulations are not as bad if we're implemented correctly, and it will only help with the adoption. It will be interesting to see how they start, but I think it's a very good thing that they started, and basically Russia forced them to, and it might just very well created a rush for who gets the upper hand in this new domain, who gets the supremacy into crypto. So if the rush has started through this, it will be an interesting thing to watch, and this of course will be a good thing for us who hold it. But This is one. And then we see this. Texas governor Kennedy declares he will put Bitcoin on the balance sheet if he is elected. Another one. Apple says that they see a lot of potential in the metaverse during the first quarter of 2022 earnings call. Brussels member of parliament to convert entire 2022 salary into Bitcoin. Rio de Janeiro, Secretary of Economic Development, Rio wants to be a reference for the world as a Bitcoin and crypto-friendly city. Breaking. Facebook has filed a trademark registration in Brazil that cites Bitcoin, cryptocurrency wallet, environment for the sale and purchase of digital currency, probably maybe an exchange. Then we see this. The UK can be, this one, Matt Hancock, the UK can be the home of new innovations like fintech and cryptocurrency. Done right, we can increase transparency and lead in the new world changing technology. My question in the comments earlier. You can see here basically the article and his
Will the minister
speech. I'm not going to right now, but this happened only in the last 24 hours. Well, you will ask, but why didn't we see a price change? Well, it's not that bad. At least it'll decoupled a bit from the stocks. It's and it didn't go lower. But remember when I told you before in the uptrend, when everybody was bullish, that the trend is your friend. So basically, if it's an uptrend, it's more probable to continue the uptrend than to reverse. The same is with the bearish trend. And we are in a bearish trend. We definitely are in a bearish trend. The question is how much it will take until we reverse. But definitely we are in a bearish trend, right? As this was. Now people are thinking about the bear market. Maybe it is the start of the bear market. Nobody knows for sure. But maybe if Bitcoin changes, maybe the bear market won't be as dramatic as in the past. Maybe it won't be now. Maybe it's a triple top cycle. Who knows, right? But in any case, I was saying that this was actually the bearish trend, right? So this is why good news usually in bearish trend, good news don't matter on the price, and in a bullish trend, bad news don't matter in the for the price, right? And this is the case, but it's important because it might very well at one point help with the reversal of the trend, but it's not in the same day. It might take a while, nobody knows for sure, but this is my optimistic part of the video, right? And I think we do have some good chances in the next period, and at least something different compared to the stocks and the traditional markets. And yeah, we will see how it goes, and we will see when it happens or if it happens. But definitely, we might have more chances than the stock market if we manage to decouple from it, and this adoption that is happening now, and if the rush is going on for crypto, it will help with that. It will help with the decoupling if it happens now, but we will see. Also, it will be important to see how the United States reacts to the national security regulations, because I think that's a kind of it's dramatic, right? They didn't do anything until now, because why do anything, right? And now that it becomes other countries are rushing for it, it becomes a matter of national security because of Russia, right? It will be interesting to see how this unfolds. But yeah, this is for the video for today. Thank you for watching. Have a great one. Bye.